Hello everyone, welcome to Careerflow.ai's YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to look into the part 2 of the previous common resume mistakes video. In this video, again, we'll be looking into 3 mistakes apart from the ones we looked in the previous video. Before moving on to this session, if you haven't subscribed to Careerflow.ai's channel, please go ahead and subscribe so that you don't miss our upcoming and future content. A quick summary of this session would be, I'll be showcasing the mistakes that people make on their resumes, which are very common, and also show you how to fix them. Now, let's get started with the video. Now, let's start with the first mistake. But before that, what is the problem with this resume? As you can see their location. I've just hid their name. I've hid their details so that the information isn't out. I got this also from Reddit, where people post or share other people's resumes and they discuss it a little bit more in the resume subreddit, right? And you can see they have pretty much good experience. Like they've worked in Tesla, they've worked in Capgemini in project management. They have the right skills, they have the education, but there is a graphic element over here. See, you got to understand this. Not every company uses ATS, but there are companies that use ATS. Currently they use ATS that uses AI to kind of filter out certain keywords, filter out certain parts within your resume. Sometimes that particular tool can't parse your resume. Now, parsing, simply put, is just retrieving the information from your resume into that particular tool, which can use that data to comprehend what your resume is about, right? So it's basically, for example, if it has to parse this resume, it will take the name, it will take the details, that is a number, email, it will take the work experience, and it'll also parse the information. And if it is an AI tool, that'll kind of summarize it. It'll look for keywords. For example, if the JD mentioned Jira, it would look for Jira, and Jira is available over here. SQL, MySQL, Python, Java. Now, let's say, but in this particular case, the project manager's experience, they want someone to know C++ instead of Java. Even though you do not know C++, even though you can mention Java, but instead C++, Java, both are object-oriented languages. So you can mention OOP over here. You can mention object-oriented programming. That could help kind of connect with the JD that was provided. Even though you don't know the language, you can easily learn another language. You just have to know the fundamentals of programming or object-oriented programming that you already know, because you just have to learn the syntax and how to use that particular language. Now, this is pretty much the problem with this resume. That is, there could be a problem when it comes to parsing. But when you share this resume to a regular HR, let's say there are 20 applicants or 50 applicants, in that case, they would go through it. There shouldn't be any issue if you have the right skills, right? Now, moving on with mistake number 4. We've completed 3 mistakes in the first part. The video would be linked. You can check the comment section, and also we would link it in the video itself. So click on it if you want to watch the first 3 mistakes. Now, coming to mistake number 4. Poor formatting and layout. The reason I showed you this is the reason for mistake number 4. That is, this is poorly formatted and bad layout. Even though it looks good, even though if you give it to a person, they would like it. Even I like this because it's a pretty clever idea. But hiring managers don't have the time for appreciating a resume, or a recruiter doesn't have the time to appreciate a resume. Rather, they just want to look for the right candidate, put them through the process, and get someone out, because the hiring managers also have targets to hire a certain number of people, hire a particular role within this particular time. So they would have to meet their deadlines. And again, if it involves them a lot of work to kind of parse or at least understand the resume, they would skip it. So to avoid that, keep a simple formatting and keep a simple layout. So problem is that it's cluttered and it's disorganized and it's difficult to read. Now, how to do that? You can simply keep a clean resume with clear headings at the top, a clear header, a clear summary section, a clear work experience section, and of that can be presented in bullet points, which can be easily read by the hiring manager. Now, there's a much easier way to do this. For example, let me open Careerflow's tool and show it to you. Let's again consider the same resume, which I used last time. But over here, you can see this is the entire resume. You can see everything is over here. But what do we want? We want a good layout. Now, this is already a simple layout. Now, if I want to change this, I can go ahead over here, and you can see there are different templates available. But again, if you are creating a resume from scratch, by clicking on Create New Resume and selecting Start from Scratch or LinkedIn, or if you already have a resume, you can upload it. The tool will parse the information and add it to the new resume. Now, by clicking there, you can get these templates. There is a career flow template. There is a no frills, that is, it doesn't have any of those lines. And then there is a Harvard template and also a compact template, right? You can choose the right template for you. This would easily help you avoid the clutter and also organize your resume, right? So this is all there is to rectify this particular mistake. Rest everything is the same thing that you did in the previous way. You just have to upload the information and then accordingly organize your resume. Moving on to mistake number 5, including irrelevant information. Now, if you just include outdated or irrelevant experiences, this will take away the focus out of your resume. If you just mention, for example, the role is requiring you to know, uh, let's say, a marketing manager, they want you to know pay per click, they want you to know a little bit more into the paid marketing aspects. But you only mentioned the organic side of your marketing career, and you haven't included a lot of paid marketing information or quantifiable metrics regarding the paid marketing campaigns that you've done. It will be of no use. They will immediately reject you. So you would have to provide the right information for the right roles. So you'll have to provide, for example, how to fix this. You should only include the recent job relevant roles and the skills. Let's say you have 10 experiences. You don't have to include all of those 10. If you think you just need these 4 experiences that reflect on the job you are applying for, you will just have to mention that. Again, it's very simple to do this. Let me show you how you can include the relevant information on Careerflow. Again, it's the same resume, right? Now, coming down, you can see there are different sections. There is a website and social section, there is the professional summary, the work experience, and then if you come down, there is a skills and interest section, projects, awards and achievement, education. So you'll have to utilize these sections. You will have to include the skills and your interests, and then if you have done any projects, you can mention it over here. If you have any awards and achievements, you can mention it over here. And again, if your work experience, let's say you have 10 work experiences, either create a 2-page resume, but I wouldn't advise it. But if it just requires you to provide the recent 3 job roles, you can just mention that in the work experience and provide relevant information. Do not give random information. This is more of a personal standpoint. This doesn't involve any AI technically. Rather, you just have to check what is right for this particular job role and include that and remove the rest. Moving on to the last mistake, failing to optimize for ATS. This kind of gets overlooked a lot of times. Let me tell you why. As I mentioned already, not every company uses ATS, but there are companies who get thousands of applicants that still use ATS, right? ATS is basically application tracking system that will help the company parse the information from the resumes shared by the applicants, and then that parsed information will be put into a test and it'll check for keywords, and only the shortlisted resumes will be sent to the hiring manager. This is a simple workflow of an ATS. There is more to learn about it, but again, always optimize for ATS even though you're applying for companies that do not have ATS, because you wouldn't know which company would use it, right? So it's always better to optimize for it. Now, how to fix this? You just have to incorporate the right keywords. Now, what do I mean by keywords? It's pretty simple. Every job has certain keywords. If you're a software engineer and you're specifically, let's say, a web developer who has an experience in JavaScript and its libraries and frameworks, you mentioned React.js, you mentioned Node.js, Express.js, and you mentioned all of those libraries and frameworks that you know, right? Now, if that job role is a front-end developer that is looking for these, it'll get parsed and it'll be sent to the hiring manager if there is an ATS. But in case you are a web developer, but you don't use JavaScript, rather, let's say you use C Sharp, you use ASP.NET. So in that case, the ATS would check, and if the relevant JavaScript libraries and frameworks are not present, it will not pass your information because they don't want somebody with experience in C Sharp. They want somebody with experience in JavaScript, right? So this is a simple example I wanted to give. Now, how to fix this? Again, you can do this very easily with Careerflow's AI resume builder because the tool itself is built for creating ATS optimized resumes. Now, again, you can do this manually as well. You just have to know the right keywords for your job role. If you do not know, just open Careerflow.ai, upload the JD, and upload your resume, or you would have already created a resume, right? Now, compare it and accordingly change your keywords within the resume to help you get shortlisted for that particular job role. But again, don't lie. Just mention the skills that you know. If you do not know a skill, don't include that. Just mention the right things that you have worked on. For example, if you don't know a particular tool, but you have worked on the same aspect, for a different tool. For example, you haven't done Google Ads, but you have done Meta Ads, but you have experience with Google Ads. That is, you have a baseline or a fundamental understanding, but in your company, they didn't ask you to do Google Ads. They just wanted you to do Meta Ads on Instagram. So you can mention Google Ads and you can just tell the interviewer when they ask that this wasn't the primary role in the company. My primary role was involving Meta Ads on Instagram, right? So that's how you get past this particular aspect. I hope all of this is clear. So these are the mistakes, and we have come to the end of this particular video. Now, if you have any other topics in mind you want us to cover, leave it in the comment section and we would create videos on them and help you out. And if you haven't subscribed to Careerflow.ai's YouTube channel, please go ahead and subscribe so that you don't miss our upcoming content. And also, if you like the video, give it a like, leave a comment, and also share it with your friends if you think it would help them. Thank you so much. Meet you in another video.